Somebody got baited. A lot of y'all got baited because this is probably not what you think it's going to be. More so than it's going to be more of a contrasting comparison of the two series, and I'll talk about where they differ, where they overlap, and where I think one series does better than the other in certain aspects. And the main reason why I want to do that is for two reasons. The first one is because when this was constantly being recommended to me, I was constantly told, as somebody who really likes Tower of God, you would also like Kubera, all right? So they were constantly compared in that sense, even as it was being recommended to me. Secondly, is because it's interesting because something kind of happened with Kubera. My experience was absolutely phenomenal and I care about it a lot. And right now, it's my favorite ongoing webtoon. Y'all talking time just tick away. You ain't clocking hours on the day. All that watch is stopping what you claim. Dollar crosses Rio got me name. Hoping God just get me out this game. Make sure to like the video, hit subscribe if you're new here, and hit the bell of dawn so the Ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you. And alright, calm down for any of my Tower of God people. Reel it in. I am not a prisoner of the moment, and I don't really do recency bias. I'm not really built that way. It takes a long time for something new to really kind of creep into my favorites, and Kubera is one of the rare cases where I'm like, no, that was a great experience. It's one of the best things that I've ever read, especially as a webtoon, especially from Line Naver. It's not debatable. Tower of God is still my favorite all-time webtoon. Do not get that twisted. It's similar with what I've been saying for the last 2 years about One Piece. I believe, it's not a weekly experience, but as the ongoing manga, I have enjoyed JoJolion on average much more than One Piece. But that doesn't mean I like JoJo or JoJolion more than I like One Piece overall. One Piece has been with me the same way Tower of God has been with me through many phases of my life. I did not pick up Tower of God 2 years ago or this year. I've been reading it since about 2010, 2011. When I caught up to Tower of God, we were not done the first season. You feel me? So so cut that up. But I want to talk about where they overlap, where they're different, and talk about some similarities because I do think they're similar in a lot of ways. Now I'll start very simple. They're both a Korean webtoon, Line Naver, made by one person. Now I know SIU, and maybe actually I don't even know if Kurigam has any assistants. I know SIU has assistants, but that he's still the head honcho. So I kind of see it as like one creative team or one creative person, whatever. It's not like a bunch of someone's writing. Like not Kurigam's like writing and someone is drawing it. They're both kind of doing everything, right? They both are in the third season and about 400 chapters in, that take place in a narrative where lore and world building have an extremely large focus, on top of the fact that I would actually argue to some degree that Bam and Lee's have some similarities and some overlapping stuff that people might not realize, but they have a character that is probably very contentious with the community in the sense that I do feel like Asha, from my experience, has been a lot more well received than someone like Rachel, but there is that one character that kind of betrayed our main character. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of little things that like it kind of overlap, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying they're the same story, because they're not. This is Kubera is supposed to be a fantasy romance. She makes the joke all the time, Kurigam, that like, yo, like this is not an action series type beat, but you see what I'm saying. Now, in first season, Bam and Lee's are kind of whatless. You know they're important. You know they have a lot of potential and they're kind of destined to do something great. But it's not really until this. Well, for Lee's a little later for the second season where she gets her shit together. Bam kind of gets her shit together, and both of them in the third seasons are a lot more hardened than they were from the first season. You've seen that kind of, it's not even like a descent to me in a lot of ways, but it's really that they have seen the reality of the situation. Bam has to understand that with what he's trying to accomplish, there's going to be bodies. You saw him in the last station, I'm sorry, with the Lobobia family where we are right now, the defensive walls. He's seeing a bunch of bodies. He looks away and goes, no, like I did this. Like, I have to face it and I have to accept it as a leader. And you see Lee's spending 7 years in the Soro realm has changed her a lot, and she's gone through a lot of psychological stuff too. So I can probably point out a couple other things here and there, but that's where I feel like they're similar. Now let's do a little bit of contrasting and a little bit of comparisons, right?
Obviously, one's actually supposed to be a story about romance, like the love theme is the central theme. Whereas in Tower of God, that's put more to the wayside. This is the story of Bam and Bam's destiny, getting to the top of the tower to get whatever wish you want to get, right? So they're not the same narrative, especially, well, they don't have the same central plot, right? Now, I think Kurigam is a far better writer than SIU has ever thought about being. I'm not gonna lie to you. She'll blow him out of the water from a writing standpoint, storytelling standpoint. When we're focusing on the text and whatnot, she is really, really good at something that I've never seen a writer be this good at. And I kind of call it like the point of convergence. What do I mean by that? You build up two opposing parties, two opposing nations, two opposing characters, whatever the case is, and you're crescendoing to that conflict, that moment, that clash, and you're salivating, and that one clash would be enough, But what she's able to do that I've never seen a writer, and I love a lot of great writers, Alanicio Isi, Brandon Sanderson, and whatnot. I've experienced some really good writers. But it's that moment of convergence where she would have like 6 other moving parts that are equally, if not more intriguing than that main conflict. So let's say Agni is going to meet with Gandhavra or Gandhi. While that's happening, Menaka Armanaka or his daughter Shankuntala is a person who's coming out the pool of reflection. And it's like, now he's confused. By the same token, we just learned that Agni needs Gandhi to be alive to get the best future. And that's why he's doing his damnedest to not lose his patience and just burn him and kill him. But also, Maruna is coming, and so is Kubera or Lise. And they have real beef. It's like, how does she always make these moments have like all of these other little moving parts that I care equally about as the main conflict? Sometimes even more. She did it when Lise got taken over by future Lise and went to go meet with Maruna, and Yuta came through and everything. Like, I've never truly seen a writer, especially a webtoon or like a manga or a graphic novel, have that ability. Like, that's talented, like that point of convergence, right? So she's a far better writer than SIU's ever thought about being. Now, I do both think they plant little seedlings and little smart tidbits here and early on, and you kind of see it grow slowly but surely throughout the narrative. I think SIU has done really good with that for a long time, but I almost feel like he's forgotten to some degrees. Whereas I would say SIU sometimes will have a point or something, and it will come full circle. It's just going to be messy. So I don't know if anyone remembers this Mario Party game from back in the day. I can't remember what it was called. I'll put it here if I remember. And basically, you would see like a Goomba. And what you had to do was, you're in a jackhammer, and you have to like follow the line and like follow the Goomba outline. And the more close you are to like keeping it neat and tidy, the more points you get. I think SIU and Kurigam do this. I just think that Kurigam's circle is clean. No squiggly. It's a nice smooth curve. With SIU, it's messy. It's not seamless, but it comes full circle. But I think he's a better illustrator. I think the way that he tells his story through his pictures, his illustrations, has overall been a lot more impressive than what Kurigam has been able to do with Kubera. I don't think Kubera's poorly illustrated. I think just like SIU, she's gotten a lot better, and I'm going to give her credit for the 3rd season, especially when they started fighting with confrontation and everything, when all the cities were being attacked. She gotten so much better. I love the action. We got some big Sura fights on some kaiju type beat shit. That's awesome. But SIU has just been better than that, in my opinion, in general. And I've always spoken about this, but one thing I really love that he does, and I think that he does a lot better than a lot of artists, is he can really show you the destructive scale and capabilities of an attack. Because he will zoom out, and he'll be like, wait a minute, that little dinky little dot, that's Karaka and Yuri? When we're up here, like, oh, they fighting down there in the bridge after the name hunt station. Like, they are going at it. And I'm sitting there like, oh, shit. That's really good. I even saw how far, I can't remember if Calivan pushed him back or Jinsung pushed him back, and but like, oh, he actually hit him and he slid back really far. Like, his ability to, or even Urek in the Floor of Death. I'm like, hold on. That 10% punch was so powerful that UJ or UG above the manipulator's corpse can see that shit? He's great at that. So they have their strengths and weaknesses. It's not, no one's perfect. No one tells the perfect, ultimate, flawless story. No one's gonna do that. But I just kind of wanted to come here because a lot of people keep asking me, which one do you like better? Blah blah blah. Listen, over all time, Tower of God is still my #1 webtoon. But as an ongoing series right now, and listen, SIU has to come hard with this, with the Rainier season 3. As far as season 3s go, he is being lapped like crazy. Imagine I'm on Baby Park. And you're on lap 1, and I'm on the final lap. Like, her season 3 has been way better than anything he's done with this third season for the most part, except bringing back Mule Love. You know what I'm saying? Because Mule Love is that guy. But let me know what you guys think. For all my Kubera and Tower of God readers, did you come watch and listen to this whole video being only on one side of the fence? Maybe you're only a Kubera fan, only a Tower of God fan. Let me know how you think and what you thought about the video. But yeah, end of the day, they're both phenomenal series for their own reasons in their own right. I do think they have some similarities. I do think they differ in a lot of way, but both of them incredible webtoons that I would suggest and recommend to just about anybody. But if you got this far, thank you for listening. Have yourself a mighty fine day. And man, Kurigam, I'm so impressed with Kubera. Tower of God, I need you to show me something. Slave in Utero, show me something.
In my drugs, pour it in my cup, sitting in my darkness with my ghouls, we pouring up. I don't really give a fuck, I don't really have a say. You tell me that I suck until you get up out my face. You got tears in your eyes, looking like a fool.